I have now done 2 videos on how to best utilize the different cards you obtain throughout the game. The first video focused on the attack cards, while the second explored the magic cards. This time around, we'll have a look at the Sleights. It isn't necessary to have seen the first 2 videos, but I do recommend it to get a better grasp of the game's mechanics. Sleights are a hugely important part of the gameplay mechanic, and it can be abused as all hell to cruise through the game. Sleights are bundled into 3 categories: attack, magic and summon. In the last video of this mini-series, I covered some of the Sleights from the magic category, namely the pure magic Sleights like Stobra, Faraka, Thundara and Graviga, so we will of course not look at those in this video. Another group of Sleights we are not considering are those that contain friend cards, as most of them can only be used in a single world. One exception to this is the Trinity Limits Sleight that I decided to include anyways. In the previous 2 videos, we looked in depth at 3 aspects: attack, break recovery and CP cost. We are only covering attack and CP cost in this video, as the break recovery of all Sleights are just 1.33 seconds. Before we jump into the first segment about attack damage, keep in mind that all the information has been empirically gathered by playing on Proud mode. In the first video on how to best use your cards, we established the damage scale where we defined the lowest tier D to have a power of 1. It turned out that every time the tier increased by 1, so did the power. This means the tier D plus has a power of 2, and the star tier has a power of 8. A normal attack with the Kingdom Key card has a power of 2. We will be using this damage scale to determine the power of Sleights. Sleights have more function than just dealing damage, but as dealing damage is most people's primary objective, that's what we're going to focus on. The Sleights differ a lot with what they're good at. Some might be excellent at taking out big crowds while being crap at a single enemy, and vice versa. This difference in use makes it hard to make a unified measure of how good a Sleight is. I've decided that I want to focus on Sleight damage against a single enemy, such as a boss, as that is the most important case in my opinion. Because of this, Sleights like Reflect Rate and Mega Flare will have a way lower number than if we considered a huge group of Heartless. Here can be seen a list of all the Sleights ranked from best to worst and how much damage it does against one enemy. As we are only considering damage against a single enemy, this list shows the guaranteed minimum damage you'll deal in combat if you don't miss with the Sleight. In this list, the indirect damage that requires you to do more than activate the Sleight and control it isn't considered. This affects the Sleights such as Freeze. There are 2 very special Sleights in this list: Magnet Spiral and Lethal Frame. Normally we only have 5 types: Physical, Neutral, Fire, Blizzard and Thunder, but there is a 6th type of Sleight, which I'm going to call Typeless. No enemy can be weak or strong against these Sleights, which makes them incredibly useful against bosses that are normally strong against neutral Sleights, which most Sleights are. In fact, all but one boss in Sora's story, Laxine, is strong against neutral attacks. Looking at the damage of a Sleight is all good and well, but if you're on a CP budget, you also need to know what the different Sleights cost. This list shows the CP cost of all the Sleights. To determine the CP cost, I took the cheapest card that resulted in a Sleight having a value of 10, as that will be able to overrule all the normal cards from an opponent. The Sleight having a value of 10 of course doesn't apply to a Sleight like Strike Rate that requires a value between 24 and 26. In this case, I took the cheapest cards with a total value of 24. It's interesting to see how much more expensive Holy is compared to all the other Sleights. This is of course because of all the item cards needed, that are more expensive than other cards. The Sleight Trinity Limit is unnaturally cheap, because you only need 1 attack card, and the rest is Donald and Goofy that you don't have to pay for. The CP cost of Sleights alone are not enough to determine what the best Sleight is to choose if you're a bit tight with CP. So I've put together this list that shows the most efficient Sleights, that is, the Sleights that do the most damage per CP. Again, Trinity Limit is at the top of the list because of the use of friend cards. In a lot of boss fights, the Sleights will get their value halved because the boss is drawn towards its type. This of course doesn't happen for a typeless Sleight like Lethal Frame, which makes it incredibly useful. The same is true for the only physical Sleight, Reflect Rate. I don't have anything else to share, so I want to thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.